Hi guys, my name is Muhammad Ahmad. Today we are going to discuss pharmacological treatment of gastroesophageal reflux disorder, which is also known as GERD. GERD is a medical condition in which there is regurgitation or reflux of acidic content from stomach into oral cavity, or we can say that in the pharynx. The symptoms of GERD include chest pain, acidic reflux, heartburn, bad breath, nausea, difficulty in swallowing, regurgitation of sour liquid, laryngitis, and chronic cough. There may be disturbed pattern of sleep. The agents which can be used in gastroesophageal reflux disorder include proton pump inhibitors, H2 blockers, antacid, and sucralfate can be used. Sucralfate is actually cytoprotective agent or mucosoprotective agent that decrease the production of HCl and increase the production of mucus. If we talk about proton pump inhibitors, they include omeprazole, esomeprazole, lansoprazole, pantoprazole, dexlansoprazole, and rabeprazole. If we talk about their mechanism of action, they actually inhibit the action of hydrogen potassium ATPase pump, which is also known as proton pump. In this picture you can see that this is gastric parietal cell, this is luminal surface of gastric parietal cell, and this is basal surface of gastric parietal cell. At the luminal surface of gastric parietal cell there is hydrogen potassium ATPase pump or proton pump that release the hydrogen ion in the lumen of the stomach in exchange with potassium ion. This pump is stimulated by high level of cyclic adenosine monophosphate and high level of calcium or inocytotropic triphosphate. Cyclic adenosine monophosphate, calcium, inocytotropic triphosphate increases in the gastric parietal cell by three stimuli. It is stimulated by G couple protein or GS protein. G couple protein and S protein further stimulated by muscarinic type 3 receptor, cytocholecystine kinin 8 receptor, and histamine type 2 receptor. At the basal surface of gastric parietal cell, there is vagus nerve that releases the acetylcholine. Acetylcholine has two functions. It acts on muscarinic type 3 receptor and stimulates the GQ protein, and it also stimulates the GRP, gastrin releasing peptide. Gastrin releasing peptide then further goes to gastrin cell, which is also known as G cell, and release and stimulate the release of gastrin. Gastrin further have two functions. It's act on CCK8 cholecystokinin 8 receptor and stimulate the GQ protein. Second function is to stimulate the endocrine-like cell. From endocrine-like cell, histamine is released, which specifically act on histamine type 2 receptor, which is also known as H2 receptor, and stimulate the GS protein. Then GS protein further increase the cyclic adenosine monophosphate. Then cyclic adenosine monophosphate stimulate the proton pump, which release the hydrogen ion in the lumen of the stomach in exchange with potassium ion. Proton pump inhibitors such as omeprazole, esomeprazole, lansoprazole, dexlansoprazole, rabeprazole, they irreversibly bind with proton pump, form covalent bond with it, and inhibit its normal action. Its normal action is to release hydrogen in the lumen to decrease the pH for proper functioning of pepsin. When it binds with ATPase channel, it is unable to release hydrogen ion, which leads to increase in pH of gastric lumen. If we talk about pharmacokinetics of proton pump inhibitors, proton pump inhibitors are prodrugs. They are weak bases. They are absorbed efficiently in the alkaline medium of duodenum, and from duodenum they are transported to the gastric caniculi. Therefore, they are available in enteric coated form to prevent the degradation of proton pump inhibitors in the acidic environment or acidic medium of stomach. They are available in oral form. Esomeprazole, lansoprazole, and pantoprazole also available in intravenous form. They are metabolized by the liver and excreted via urine and feces. If we talk about uses of proton pump inhibitors other than peptic ulcer disease include gastroesophageal reflux disease, erosive esophagitis, can be used in prophylaxis of stress ulcer, can be used in prevention and treatment of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. It can be used in Zollinger-Ellison syndrome. Zollinger-Ellison syndrome is a condition in which gastrin are stimulated inappropriately, which further stimulate the parietal cell for release of hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid level in the lumen of the stomach increases, so to decrease the pH of or so to decrease the release of hydrochloric acid in the gastric lumen, we can use proton pump inhibitors. Now we are going to discuss side effects of proton pump inhibitors. Gastric parietal cells release hydrochloric acid as well as intrinsic factor. Intrinsic factor required for absorption of vitamin B12. When we will inhibit the proton pump by proton pump inhibitor, it will inhibit the release of hydrochloric acid as well as the release of intrinsic factor. When there will be decreased release of intrinsic factor, it will lead to decreased vitamin B12 absorption. Studies show that if we use the proton pump inhibitor for more than 1 year, it increases the risk of fracture because it decreases the absorption of calcium and magnesium from gastrointestinal tract. Clopidogrel is antiplatelet agent. It is prodrug and activated by cytochrome P2C19 isoenzyme. Proton pump inhibitors, especially omeprazole and esomeprazole, inhibit the activity of cytochrome P2C19 and decrease the activation of clopidogrel. We can say that omeprazole and esomeprazole decrease the effect of clopidogrel. High acidic environment in stomach destroy many microbial agents. When we will decrease the acidic environment, it increase the risk of infections like pneumonia and increase the risk of Clostridium difficile colitis, which lead to diarrhea. Proton pump inhibitors also decrease the absorption of dead drugs that are absorbed in acidic medium. For example, calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate absorbed in acidic environment. Proton pump inhibitor decrease the acidic environment of stomach. It decrease the absorption of calcium carbonate. Those patients who are taking proton pump inhibitors, we can use calcium citrate instead of calcium carbonate. H2 blockers include cimetidine, ranitidine, nizatidine, famotidine. If we talk about mechanism of action, H2 blockers selectively binds with histamine type 2 receptors and it inhibits the action of H2 receptors reversibly. As I explained that histamine is released by endocrine like cells and act on H2 receptors. Cimetidine, ranitidine, nizatidine, famotidine act on H2 receptor reversibly and block the action of histamine. When we block the action of histamine, there will not be stimulation of GS protein and it will not increase the intracellular cyclic adenosine monophosphate level, and cyclic adenosine monophosphate will be unable to stimulate or activate the proton pump and increase the pH of stomach. If we talk about uses of histamine type 2 receptor blockers or H2 blockers, it include peptic ulcer disease, gastroesophageal reflux disease, acute stress ulcers, and ulcers that are induced by non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. If we talk about pharmacokinetics of H2 blockers, they are given orally except nizatidine. H2 blockers are available in intravenous form. They are metabolized by liver cytochrome isoenzyme system and excreted via urine. H2 blockers can cross the placenta and can be excreted in milk, so they are contraindicated in pregnancy and in lactation. Side effects include headache, dizziness, diarrhea. It also affects central nervous system and causes hallucination and confusion. It increases the pH of stomach and decreases the absorption of weak acidic drugs that are well absorbed in acidic medium, such as ketoconazole. If we talk about side effects of cimetidine, cimetidine inhibits the cytochrome P450 isoenzyme system and increase the half-life of drugs that are metabolized by cytochrome P450 system. The drugs that are metabolized by cytochrome P450 system include warfarin, clopidogrel, diazepam, and theophylline, and there are many more drugs, but these are more common. In proton pump inhibitors, we discussed that clopidogrel effect is reduced, but in H2 blockers, clopidogrel half-life is increased. Mean it's we have to reduce the dose of clopidogrel to prevent the toxicity of clopidogrel. Cimetidine also have endocrine side effects. Cimetidine act as non-steroidal anti-androgen and reduce the effect of androgen on androgenic receptor and causes gynecomastia, galactorrhea, and decrease the sperm counts in males. If we talk about antacids include aluminum hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, calcium carbonate, and sodium bicarbonate. If we talk about mechanism of action, antacids are weak bases interact with acid that is produced in the lumen of the stomach and result into formation of salt and water. We can say that antacid neutralize the acid that is produced in our stomach. If we talk about uses of antacids, we can use in peptic ulcer disease, we can use in gastroesophageal reflux disease and heartburn. Calcium carbonate can be used as calcium supplements. It is advised to take antacid before meal to increase their effectiveness. If we talk about side effects, aluminium hydroxide can cause constipation, magnesium hydroxide can cause diarrhea, calcium carbonate contain high level of calcium and it may lead to hypercalcemia. Sodium bicarbonate contains sodium, it can exacerbate the hypertension and it may lead to systemic alkalosis. In renal failure, aluminium, magnesium, calcium, sodium ions may accumulate and worsen the symptoms of renal failure. If we talk about mechanism of action, bismuth salicylate interact with glycoprotein in the necrotic mucosal part or in necrotic mucosal tissue and form cover that prevent penetration of hydrochloric acid and prevent the action of pepsin and protect from further damage and allowed to heal. The side effect of bismuth salicylate is discoloration of tongue. If we talk about sucralfate is a complex of aluminium hydroxide and sucralfated sucrose. It binds with positive charge protein of mucosa and form gel. This gel prevents penetration of HCl and degradation of mucosal proteins by pepsin. It also stimulates prostaglandin secretion and decrease HCl production. Sucralfate is used for treatment of duodenal ulcer. Sucralfate requires acidic environment for its absorption. Therefore, it is advised not to use sucralfate with proton pump inhibitors, H2 blockers and antacids.